just a second. All right. As we're going by here, I want to start off the tour by giving this guy a really good quack, the guy who's leading us out. So here we go, guys. Get your quackers ready. Money! All right, guys, here we are. We're celebrating for something. We love this. All right. Why? Well, right next to the MoPop, the Museum of Pop Culture. Weird design, right? Well, it's actually designed to look like one of Jimi Hendrix's guitars after it's been smashed and set on fire. That's what it's designed to look like. We're going to talk more about that in a second. For now, we're at a celebration, aren't we? You know the lyrics. They're coming up. I want to hear you sing. Here we go, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Celebrate good times. Come on. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, one more time. Here we go. Celebrate good times. Come on. All right, guys, what's going on right here? What time?
A celebration.
How long? And what should we bring? And what else? I'm too good on it. Now, guys, designed to look like one of Jimi Hendrix's guitars after it's been smashed and set on fire. You can only see this from above. So I encourage you, if you go on top of the Space Needle and look down and look at it, it still doesn't look like that. It's artistic rendering. They're paying homage to the psychedelic mindset of that time. Now, we talked about the outside. Let's talk about the inside. 3 museums in one. The Museum of Pop Culture has a museum in pop culture, science fiction, and my favorite, rock and roll. They have a complete interactive room in there where you can learn guitar, bass, drums, and keyboards all from scratch. Afterward, go into their studio for free. You record yourself and can buy your own CD. And they make you sound perfect. It's like they edit it to make you sound perfect. So Justin Bieber does go in there, yes. There's only so much magic a studio can do, so he still sounds pretty trash. They also have one of Jimmy's guitars in there, the one you played Woodstock with. Wait, who is from out of town? Raise your hand. Oh, you guys don't even know who I'm talking about. Who's Jimi Hendrix? He wrote this song named Purple Haze, alright? This is a local classic. He's playing the air guitar there. If anyone wants to join in, feel free. Over here, the Eiffel Tower of Seattle, the Space Needle. Here's my favorite lyric. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Not to be confused with while I kiss the guy. None of that, please. Now, guys, the Eiffel Tower of Seattle, the Space Needle, alright? She stands 605 feet tall, pretty in every foot, and also with one of the world's first revolving restaurants on top. Rotates once every 47 minutes. Unbelievable, yeah? Pretty cool.
I think that's scary.
It's weird, but also think about this. It actually only takes the power of a garbage disposal to power that rotation. So that's only 1.5 horsepower, and it actually only takes the power of a spoon to jam it.
Really?
Well, with the garbage disposal power, yeah.
I'm done.
Now, guys, coming up here is something really fascinating that you probably would never think you'd ever hear about me pointing out while on tour here. But look at these green windows kind of over here. You can see them past the trees. You're going to get another view of them right over here. There they are.
Awesome.
You are looking at the second largest butterfly exhibit in all of America. Free range, 4,000 square feet of butterflies flying around, and if you stand still, they do land on you. But keep your mouth closed.
Dang it.
Because I've learned that the green ones are awful sour. We like the red ones, though. Those are sriracha flavored. Those are wonderful. Man, that's brought to you by the Pacific Science Center right over here, guys. So you might also be wondering, why all this focus on this one particular area? Well, back in 1962, this is called Seattle Center. Seattle Center was the site of the 62 Seattle World's Fair, where it was our chance for like 3 months to show the world that we were the city of the future, that our economy was booming, and that we were doing good. So we built the Space Needle, we built the Seattle monorail, we built all this stuff for the World's Fair. And where most World's Fair sites are torn down right after, we kept ours. And it's still almost completely original, except with just a few tweaks here and there to make it that much better. So pretty cool, right? You can go in there, fully enjoy it, and more. Anyway, guys, we're going to go into a residential area real quick. I got to go off mic just for a little bit.
Aww.
We love our neighbors here. And we're back. Guys, what's my name? Exactly. Not Sam, though.
Dang it.
That stands for Seattle Art Museum. And this is their branch called the Olympic Sculpture Park. It's 9.5 acres of all the statues that were too big and too beautiful to fit in the actual Seattle Art Museum. This is where they're at. It's completely free to walk around in and enjoy. They also give free guided tours over the summer on Saturdays at noon. For those who are interested, summer's just started here in Seattle. They gave their first tour on Saturday. Now, guys, on the count of 3, I want you to either quack on your quack or just scream like teenage girls. All right, 1, 2, 3. 100%. There you go, guys. Oh yeah. Tell you something. I think you understand. And say that something. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. Now, guys, there's a reason I made you scream like teenage girls back there. You sounded great, by the way, sir. Thank you very much. I wanted you to hear what it sounded like right here in 1964 when the Beatles stayed at the Edgewater Hotel. Now, can you imagine it was the heat of Beatlemania, and the hotel knew this was going to be crazy, so they put up a 350-foot plywood wall just to keep everybody out. It almost didn't work. Some people tried swimming around. The Coast Guard had to pull them out. Two groupies make it into a laundry basket, start getting scooted around the inside of the hotel. Right outside the Beatles' door, are about to knock, and then security catches them and boots them out. Yeah. Anyway, guys, get your phones out, take your pictures. You're looking at Elliott Bay, the deepest natural harbor in all of the world. The place that Edgewater looks out to. You can fit the Space Needle inside this thing with only 5 feet of the needle sticking out. Cool. Isn't that cool? Now, in the distance, you have this big land formation. That's West Seattle. Why do they call it that, though? Well, over here is the big city, you know, the infrastructure, the industry, the skyscrapers, and then over there is the west of it. Woo! Welcome to Ride the Ducks.
Yeah.
Sushi fans, raise your hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Freshie sushi in all of Seattle coming at you here from the Seattle Aquarium. You can't buy it, you can't touch it, and you can't eat it, but I'll tell you, it's in there. And you know what they do have, though? They have this 120,000-gallon water tank filled with all the sea creatures in the Pacific Northwest, including, at times, the Pacific octopus, which is literally known to be so smart it's escaped multiple times. Like, we don't even know where our last one is. It could be anywhere. It made it into Puget Sound, we know that. But, I guess it's on a duck now.
Yeah, duck.
There you go. You know how you make an octopus laugh? You give it 10 tickles. 10 tickles. Over here we have the Seattle Great Wheel. Alright, this thing stands 200 feet tall off the water, 40 feet off the dock at its farthest point. And it lights up at night too. Yeah, isn't that cool? Isn't that really great? Now it lights up at night and it's a pretty amazing view when you're down here. I'm not going to lie about that. Like, it really is incredible. And we were super excited when we got that, but not quite as excited as we were when these guys came to town in '72. Who am I talking about? People, we know the dance. All right, guys, I want to play a little bit of a game here, actually. So we're going to get our hands moving. If you are so interested. So, 5 points if you get somebody to start clapping with us on the streets. 10 points if you get them to start singing. 20 points for a dance. 50 points for a phone number. And 100 points for a hug. All right, let's see what we can do here. When that chorus comes, I want to see everybody's hands in the air moving. We all know how it goes. All right, let's see what you got, Seattle. Let's show the world what the Ducks are all about. Right? Here goes nothing. It's coming. It's coming. Here we go, guys. It's fun to stay in the YMCA. It's fun to stay in the YMCA. I love everything. Yeah. Me too. I'm just ready. Guys, come on. One more time. Absolutely. Now, guys, we have a lot of really good restaurants here on the waterfront. We got a Subway, you know? Hey, isn't that cool? It's all about what that subway leads to. Up there, you can take a ferry into an area called Bainbridge Island, and Bainbridge Island is kind of residential. Some good views, a little bit of a change of scenery. But also, what's important is the boat ride back. You have an amazing view of Seattle. It doesn't get much better than that. You got the Space Shuttle here, you got the skyscrapers there, you got it all. Alright, and above all of that is the Columbia Tower, the tallest building in Seattle, and we're going to be going right by that here in just a second here. But first, I hear another chorus coming, right? Oh boy. Here we go, guys. God, it's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Absolutely, you guys are here. One more time. YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. You guys are awesome. I have a lot of applause for me too. You guys are a big group. I love it, really, I do. Now, why did I put the hard hat on?
We're in a construction zone.
Actually, yeah. I mean, you're kind of right. I wanted to have you notice something. You're going to notice a little bit of a change of scenery. You are looking at the oldest part of town. Actually, this is called Pioneer Square, built in 1852. So back in the day, when they originally settled here, it looked a little bit different. All right, it was around 12 feet lower and completely wooden. And the problem with this is that twice a day the tide would rush up from Elliott Bay and flood the city. Twice a day this would happen. And we didn't have drainage. All of our stuff was wooden, so it would kind of just rot. And also the sewage from Elliott Bay would just kind of come up and plop its pretty self right on the sidewalks. Incredible at fixing our problems. We make amazing plans. We really know what we're doing, all right? So we decided, in this case, to burn our city down. This was called the Great Seattle. Yep, you heard it. 32 square blocks burned down to the ground. In this fire, which was a complete accident, it's a miracle that, really, nobody got hurt. Not a single soul.
Dang.
So it's pretty incredible to think that, imagine, all right, everybody's running out of the city as fast as they can, and as they're watching their livelihoods, their business, everything they know and everything they've ever worked for in the world burned down to the ground, all they can say really is, burn, baby, burn. Yep, absolutely. So guys, but in all seriousness, we needed this, all right? We had a bad city, so what did we decide to do? Well, in the beginning, Seattle, we were lumberjacks. That's how we made our money. We cut things down and we used it. It was a pretty simple way of life. And there's going to be more about that later in the tour, but we didn't have, the point is, we didn't have access to concrete and brick and everything. All we had access to wood. But somehow, we managed to get a hold of brick and all this good stuff, and then we rebuilt. 15 feet higher, with proper drainage and sewer systems, and that is the Pioneer Square you kind of see around you today. So a lot of these buildings are actually really fascinating because
And cool.
they were designed by this architect named Elmer Fisher. The day the Seattle Great Fire happened, the day it made it into the newspapers as the headline, there was also an advertisement for his architecture services, and it says Elmer Fisher graduated from some of the best, like the best architecture school, incredible education in it. Hire me, and then so literally the city of Seattle hired him to rebuild the city. And what's funny, I think he did a good job. These buildings are still around, but he actually didn't even go to school. He was just a guy that read a few books. And I think he did okay. But anyway, though this part of town is protected and it will never be torn down by our hands, what it's not protected from is the angsty youth here in Seattle that puts graffiti on the walls. It's not protected from that, unfortunately. So we still deal with that.
Graffiti is art.
Oh yeah, true. Now at least we have good art.
Art.
Now, guys, we started kind of once we rebuilt. It took us only about a year to rebuild. This fire happened in 1889. We had kind of everything rebuilt by 1891. And after that, we kind of started expanding north into this area here. I forget what it's called. I can't remember.
We're going up everybody.
Oh yeah. Welcome to downtown Seattle. So guys, over there is Big Ben of Seattle. You're looking at King Street Station. It's our train station here around town. And it's one of the oldest. It's actually the original. And it's pretty nifty, right? It takes you all around town. City of Seattle bought it for $10 and refurbished it. just all the sights you can see in this area. Sure. You see that building kind of peeking out right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, the big one, the tall one. That is known as the Smith Tower. It's 522 feet tall, and you see that pyramid on top? Keep that in mind. So this was built in 1914, and at the time it was the tallest building this side of the Mississippi. No joke about that. So I think that's pretty awesome. It was passed in 1962 by the Space Needle. But that pyramid you see up there, originally it was the water tank that gave water to people that worked in there, but now after a 90s renovation, it's actually residential. You're looking at probably the most expensive apartment in all of downtown Seattle. Can you imagine the view? I couldn't. I've never been up there, but welcome to downtown. Oh, wow.
Waiting for you tonight, downtown. You're gonna be all
Look at this right here, the Columbia Center. The tallest building in Seattle, second tallest building on the West Coast. Go up to the 76th floor, and the women's restroom in there literally has, in all the stalls, the women's restroom, every stall has glass walls looking out into downtown on the highest floor. And that's only in the women's restroom, not in the men's restroom. And though that is the tallest building in Seattle, it's not the building with the most amount of stories. The Seattle Public Library has the most amount of stories. 1.5 billion of them at capacity. Look at this weird thing. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Well, just more of the sights you can see here in downtown. Who here likes shopping? Who here likes food? I love all these things. So that's why I'm very excited in a little bit to show you the shopping district. But first, I want to show you my favorite building in all of Seattle, right here.
Oh my God.
The Rainier Building, designed by the same architect who designed the original World Trade Center in New York. Now it has that same kind of design, right? With the columns going up and everything, it looks exactly like it. But the reason for that is because this architect actually had an incredible fear of heights. So when he went into his skyscrapers, he liked to have something to hold on to. That's why those columns are all there. So if you crane your neck out, you're going to notice it looks exactly like the original World Trade Center. Now, not a lot of interesting stuff in there. My brother-in-law works in there. I hate that guy. Can we all quack at him? On the count of three, should we quack at him? 1, 2, 3. What a lame dude, honestly. Lamer than the captain. Anyway, guys. Sorry, bad taste. No, but anyway, guys. So that's that. And wouldn't you know that even though that building is designed weird, it was deemed by the city of Seattle as the safest place to be in case of an earthquake in town. Seriously, pretty cool, I think.
Nice. Yeah,
I think that's, no, seriously. That is actually the safest place. So, guys, I talked about shopping and food and all that stuff. Well, welcome to Westlake Center, guys. This is where the nightlife of Seattle is. This is where the boutique restaurants are, and, you know, boutique shops and everything. And also a Nordstrom Rack, too. But what's even more important, something else I want you to quack at, our brother location, right here. Quack. Beautiful. So guys, this is Westlake Center. It's the shopping district. It's got a lot of really good stuff in there. But I want to talk about that later because the monorail drops you off there. The Seattle monorail does drop you off there. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. Now guys, we're entering a really cool area of town. An area of town called Belltown, actually. And what Belltown is super known for, actually, is the music scene. When I was in high school, and there's a really famous music scene here. Go up the street and to the right, and then you're going to make it to a venue called the Crocodile that all sorts of bands, all of those bands, including mine too, played at. And I'm going to talk to you not as a tour guide, because that venue's still there. I'm going to talk to you not as a tour guide, but actually as a musician and a person who's played in the scene. It's very near. The Seattle music scene is something that's kind of near and dear to my heart. A lot of people tell me that the Seattle music scene is more or less kind of dead, and like that there's no, grunge music. There's none of that really in here anymore. Well, I can tell you as a musician who's played in it and has been a part of it, that's not true. You can go into the Crocodile and experience that type of music in its natural habitat, in fact. So if you like sweaty bar fights, a sweaty atmosphere, mosh pits, circle pits, bar fights, and elbows in the face and music so loud that your ears are bleeding if you're not wearing earplugs, well, head to the Crocodile and welcome to Belltown.
Hey, look at that.
Close up though. So guys, I want to talk for a second about my favorite restaurant in all of Seattle. It's coming up right over here, alright? You can kind of see it. That's Fair Start is what it's called. You'll get a good view of it right on the right side. Look at that. Fair Start. Great food, better lives. So, Monday through Friday, they're open 10 to 2. And Thursday nights, they're open at 8 o'clock for a $30 three-course meal. But that's not all. They're also a non-profit. I see what you're doing. They're also a non-profit. They have a 16-week training program in the culinary arts for those in Seattle who are considered down and out, homeless, mentally ill, people who really would have a lot of hard trouble getting a job. Well, they can go to Fair Start. They provide a living. And in this 16-week training program for the culinary arts, you learn how to be almost a master chef. And they have a 90% success rate in getting people jobs afterward. How about a round of applause for Fair Start? Really great. Now, guys, I have a hat for everything. Who here has an Amazon Prime membership? Raise your hand.
Black.
Thank you for supporting local business. Welcome to the Amazon Biospheres. Isn't that cool? So, guys, this is fascinating. Those are weird, right? Well, there's actually not a single desk in there either. There's 300 endangered species of plants. Now, what's the point? Well, if you are a stressed Amazon employee who still needs to get some work done, well, you can go to the spheres, get your work done in a more natural and calming environment. With some sunlight coming down on you, right next to a plant, that's what the intention is. They also give guided tours to those who are interested or not workers at Amazon. Now what else? Amazon encourages you to bring your dog to work. Amazon actually literally wants you to bring your dog to work every day. You can. In fact, they actually have a dog park right next to the spheres just for Amazon dogs. Pretty cool. So if you don't want to bring your dog on your lunch break, well, you can drop them off there for about 20 minutes, and they'll be chilling out there, meeting all sorts of other dogs. We've always been more of a cat family where I live. I don't think Lucy would do very well at this particular dog park. Maybe they'll have a cat park, though. Can you imagine? What would they do there? They'd probably just sit there.
No, they'd sleep.
Yeah, exactly. But they also have available to you on the Amazon website. You can learn about every single Amazon dog. You can go on there and they have a profile and picture of every single dog in Amazon. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah. So, coming up here are two things, all right? And they can all be summed up by these next two words. These next two words. Tesla. And also, oh, those are cool. What's cooler, in my opinion, what else is also electric, is the electric guitars that are inside here. Wow! Ain't that nifty? Well, guys, anybody here a musician? You got any guitarists in general? Okay. So here's Guitar Center, of course. But also, I want to point out to you when we get into this area of town called Fremont, my favorite guitar shop in Seattle. I think you'll like this. It's called Dusty Strings. They got all sorts of good stuff there. Could somebody real quick take a picture of this sign here that says Bigfoot? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, who wants to take the picture of the sign if you're brave enough?
I'm only taking a video.
Well, does it come out blurry?
Nope.
That's funny. I thought every picture of Bigfoot came out blurry. I don't know why that is, but who knows?
It's not funny.
It's not funny at all.
Yeah, it is. You're Bigfoot. Hey! Oh, it's not funny.
Now, guys, also right over here is a Starbucks, alright? Can you see the Starbucks here? Alright, guys, the other thing I want to mention is that Amazon is not the only big player in building right over here. Hope nobody uses Bing. But on the other side of this, sorry, on the other side of this is this giant mound of dirt. Giant mound of dirt on the other side of this Google construction site. And that's Google Earth. Alright, guys. So what's going on next? Do you see the sign that says Mohi in the distance?
Yeah.
You're going to pass by it here in a second. That's the Museum of History and Industry. This is my favorite museum in all of Seattle. Right over there. So what's going on there? They have all of the original key building blocks of the Pacific Northwest. They have Bill Boeing's original seaplane that he used to deliver mail with himself. Hanging above you as you walk in, the original. Like the Smithsonian, they have the carbon copy. They also have the original glue pot that started the Seattle fire I was talking about. How they have that after an entire city burnt down, I really don't know, but it's in there. Anyway, right next to the Mohi is the body of water we're going into, Lake Union. Here in a little bit. Are we excited to go in the water?
Yeah.
I hear more yeses than I hear nos. Well, here's a song to get you in the mood. I'm going to stop yapping at you. I hope you all like country. I know.